Yeah, okay. So we're live.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to give it a minute for everyone to come on in. Because currently I only see 3.
Oh, okay. Well, there's definitely a lot more. Okay.
Oh, now we're cooking.
It's coming in big rolls. Okay.
Yes, okay.
It just tripled.
Okay. Thank you so much for either spending your evening or your afternoon, depending what coast you're in with us. For us, it is evening. We're so excited to be joining everyone here. So welcome. Come on in. If you're featuring us from the website, we're kind of maybe in your corner or directly right in front of you, or maybe you're joining us from Instagram Live. So excited to have you guys here. Welcome. Come on in. We're going to give kind of a minute for the rest of the people to get settled in. But if you're new to us or you haven't seen our faces before, my name is Erica and I'm our sales manager here at Bush Bomb Pro. So I get to work with so many of our amazing SD community, along with my team, which I'm with here, the one and only Julie. And Julie's one of our account managers. You may recognize her from an onboarding webinar if you've seen her, or potentially our retail strategy session that we have up on YouTube. And Julie and I are really just excited to hang out with you tonight and to talk a little bit more about some holiday retail strategies.
Absolutely. No, this is our third
live shopping. Yeah.
So you think we're pros by now, but no, these are honestly so much fun just to hang out with you guys. We have lots of great material to kind of set you all up for success for the holiday season, especially considering it's during one of our biggest sales of the year.
It is. So right now, we obviously have our stock up sale, which we'll get into in just a hot minute. But so much kind of to dive into tonight, from learnings and retail's to-dos. We're really excited to give you some tips and tricks that we've kind of learned from our SD community, but also some stuff that we know from our previous experience. So grab a warm drink, cozy up, and let's get ready for the retail floor to take center stage.
Yeah.
And there's more. You know, while we're live, like we did mention, it is our annual stock up sale. So you can easily shop our biggest sale of the year right on our website, and take advantage of some exclusive perks that we've got while we're going on tonight. So not only are you going to take advantage of 10% off site wide, which obviously applies to all of our retail, our back bar, our single bags of wax, but you'll also get a free Bush Bomb tote, which we actually have right here. So we're going to show you. You get a free Bush Bomb tote with every order placed today, especially during the live. And if you spend over $350, you'll also get the coveted Bush Bomb Pro apron, which we've obviously had so many requests for. And we're so excited to kind of be giving these out. So this is what it looks like. So that's free with orders over $350, but every order will get a tote. But I think most importantly, every order placed tonight, while we're live, gets double entry to our biggest giveaway we've done on live, which is for a free iPad. So one lucky winner will go home with an iPad tonight. You get double entries if you place your order during the live. But if you have placed an order this week and are joining us just live, you will get an entry no matter what. So one entry for joining us here tonight, double your entry, your chances of winning with every order placed during the live.
Amazing. Okay. I guess if you're ready, everyone online, drop a little, what is it? Box emoji.
Present
emoji.
Present.
There we go. Thank you. Get a little present emoji into the chat. We're so excited to hear you guys. And yeah, definitely take this time to chat with us, ask questions, and chime in as much as possible into our conversations.
Yeah, we've got the team on deck monitoring the chat. They'll give us some questions, kind of the burning topics. And let us know where you're tuning in from. We love to learn where our SDs are from. So are you from California, from Texas, from Florida, from British Columbia, Newfoundland, just anywhere across Canada or the US? We're so excited to learn where our SD community is joining in from.
Okay. And now if anyone missed the last live event where we did the launch for the Friction Fix, you'll see her behind me. We had such a blast posting that last time. So during our annual stock up sale, we want to make sure that we cover a few things throughout this conversation here today. So we're going to have some really great educational sessions so you can easily shop your favorites during this live for your shelves for the holiday season. So as Erica had mentioned earlier, we're doing 10% off on wholesale pricing site wide on the Pro website. So we'll also be featuring some of your favorites on the screen. You might see that. You think it's our third live. I know where to point at it, but it's on your screen.
Just like pops up somewhere.
You'll find it there. We're also going to be covering a variety of retail strategies throughout today's live. So we can make sure that you also sell through all of your favorite products this festive season. So if you're placing an order during the live event on the Pro site, you have a double chance, as we mentioned, to win that iPad. And for every single other join, for all orders that are coming through too, during the live, you also get that tote bag with your order. So, now let's dive in, use the chat, ask questions, but also engage with your community. Maybe there's a fellow Esty in the chat you want to give a shout out to and say hi. So don't hesitate. We're all here to support you.
We love growing our networks, and this is one way that we can do that and help kind of everyone connect with everyone. So without further ado, we're going to get into the meat of tonight, which is all about retail strategies. And so the holidays are really just the busiest and probably the most profitable time of year. So having a really clear retail strategy is key. And we're going to start by setting kind of 3 goals. The first goal, which we'll chat about, is how we maximize visibility. So think about how your products are seen in every corner of your space. We'll go through some tips and tricks on how you can do that with a little bit of psychology or consumer buying behavior. We're also going to cover how we simplify decision making, making it easy for them to say yes by introducing the products in the service room and taking a more educational approach. And then lastly, we're going to go over the most probably talked about things going into the holiday, which is encouraging gifting behavior, reminding clients that they're buying for themselves, but also for others, and ways that you can kind of bundle and do promos throughout the holiday to maximize the kind of value of the order that you're getting, or the value of what customers are buying, but also getting products to maybe some clients that haven't tried certain Bush Bomb products or are wanting to gift others for the holiday.
So 3 main factors we're going to be covering throughout today's conversation, throughout the live: visibility, simplicity, but also having a gifting mindset.
You got it. The holiday season is when clients are already in a buying mindset. People are spending on self-care, they're spending on gifts, and ultimately on experiences, which makes it the ideal time for you, our Esties, to boost both service and retail sales. Having a retail strategy ensures that you don't just rely on service income, but take advantage of this peak season to increase profits through product sales.
And so I can already hear them through the live. They're probably thinking, okay, easier said than done, but don't worry. We are going to talk you through these goals, give tips, give tricks, so you can slay this holiday season.
We love a pun. You'll hear a few tonight, I'm sure. But we're also going to kind of start by diving into visual merchandising, bundling and promos, like I mentioned, and how to naturally incorporate selling into every client interaction. So before we kind of dive in, just want to go over some housekeeping. If you're just joining us now, kind of a little late to the party, never too late, don't you worry. A reminder that this is a live shopping event, so you can totally shop our website or click on products that are going to be pinned throughout the live. So you can easily kind of add to cart, check out. You will be getting that free tote with every order. You'll get that free apron if you spend over $350. And like I said, double chances to win that iPad giveaway throughout the live. So those are kind of some exclusive perks to join with their orders this week. And if you haven't stocked up, we're going to give you many reasons why too throughout the night.
Awesome. I guess let's dive into maybe the number 1 tip that I typically give our Esties when it comes to visually displaying their products. So clients can't buy what they don't see. And it seems pretty obvious, but by displaying your retail products in multiple different areas, the reception desk, the treatment room, the waiting area, regardless of the space that you're in, increase the likelihood of a spontaneous purchase.
Exactly. It's all about kind of creating a visual reminder that aftercare is part of the hair removal routine. So whether you're waxing, sugaring, lasering, it's kind of part of the whole experience. So it doesn't just start and stop in the service room. They really get their desired results by being consistent in products that they use at home. And the best way to feature that is to visually show them.
Okay, so let's talk about what your customers see first. visual merchandising essentially is how you set up the products for someone to see. It's all about storytelling at the end of the day. So from the colors, routines, every display should spark curiosity, joy, but ultimately the urge to pick something up.
For sure. But it's just not as simple as setting the products on the shelf. There's actually a lot that goes into it, like symmetry, creating dimension, drawing the eye, what sounds like a science experiment. It really does get complex. So don't be fooled by that nice, Victoria's Secret display that you see when you walk into the store. There's whole teams that focus on how things are laid out, what goes on the mannequin, what color pattern the panties are in. It does really have science behind it. And we're going to kind of chat a little bit why. But ultimately, just know it's not as easy as just plunking products onto the shelf.
So to keep you guys focused on snatching those hairs, we're going to help simplify it with just a few tips, tricks, and how to make your Bush Bomb products fly off your shelf just by visually displaying them in the best optimal way.
Awesome. And I noticed just quite a few people just joined. So if you're just joining us, we are diving into how important it is to maximize visibility of your retail with a few tips and tricks. So whether you're in a small studio space or a large retail salon, these suggestions will help ensure your space and products look curated and intentional.
Okay. So where do they start?
Okay. This is very common. So they're common tips with like playing with dimension and height, using specific lighting, or creating a focal point. And we'll touch on those a little bit tonight, but what we're really going to be focusing on is creating your Bush Bomb retail display and a bit about how your back bar plays a big role in the products flying off your shelf.
Okay. So if you haven't already, grab your notebook, jot down what may make sense for you to incorporate or switch up going into the holiday season.
Okay, let's really dive in here. So we're going to start with the simplest of strategies, displaying your products by routine / skincare concern. So if your clients are looking for ingrown solutions, having all of your ingrown collection displayed together will tell the story of the routine. This begins with grouping your scrubs and oils together, showcasing them kind of in their duo.
So kind of like if I grabbed our nude ingrown hair oil and scrub.
Yeah, for sure. So like you're going to have these products on your shelf side by side because they're meant to be used in a routine. I always tell our SDs, it's kind of like shampoo and conditioner. Mm-hmm. You got to do both. The option isn't just one. So by displaying the products in the routine, you ultimately are visually displaying to the customer what products they're going to need to get the results that they desire.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a really great point, especially having them side by side like that. Something I typically recommend to our SDs is to also keep them on display near the front desk or the check-in area. But I also want to mention that some of what our top retailers will practice is using the minis as their new customer kits. So many ways that you can use that.
Absolutely. The number one tip that I will give though is not displaying your travel and discovery or your mini sizes right next to your full size products. The reason being is customers will always gravitate towards the smaller option. So if you have your scrub and oil next to each other in the full size, and then you also have the mini that goes with it, clients will naturally gravitate towards the smaller option. So I usually recommend keeping your minis off your main display, maybe at like a bowl at the cash, or maybe they're kind of on a side table in your service room. But ideally, they're just not all in one row, just so that the customer gets used to seeing the full size first and gravitating towards that versus defaulting to the smaller sizes like the mini.
You'll see that a lot in like those like any sort of Ultas or Sephora's. The minis are always in the front. It should be more of like an afterthought.
Yeah, an impulse purchase, right? So the next few tips are kind of about how consumers shop, like how their thought process works. Ultimately, we are less likely to purchase something that we can't see, which Julie mentioned. But it's also kind of might be obvious, but ensuring all of your products are on display is critical. So whether that's stocking your shelves fully or making sure that every product that you have ordered or in stock is on display, whether you've got one left or you're fully stocked on 6, you've got to have it out to give the clients the visual options to see. Mm-hmm. But it also creates like a reason to, if you have 1 or you have 6, that's going to have a visual indication on maybe what's also selling or what other clients like. So it's okay to have varying inventory on your shelf. It kind of does point to what might be popular products and what things you might want to stock up on, which, well, we are in our annual stock up sale and we call it the annual stock up sale for a reason. It is to ensure that your shelves can be fully stocked going into the holiday season.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. And to your point, such a great time to stock up, gang. But what I was also thinking of, and something I mentioned a lot to our esties is, and something we probably a lot will relate to, is the retail space isn't always directly in the service room. And sometimes they're in the waiting area, other shared spaces. So we also have some tips that I love sharing with them as well. Since we have clients laying on the bed, and let's be honest, we've all been on the bed, butterfly, eyes are wandering, we're looking around the room. It's always really great to have some small features displayed in this service room. So as our clients are naturally looking around, they're going to see these beautiful products catch your eye.
100%. Some of our top retailers who might have a very large retail display kind of in their waiting area will have what we call a focal shelf in their service room. So that can be a really small shelf that maybe is featuring a product that is one of their best sellers, or maybe it's new, like Cozy Cashmere, for example, or maybe it's a product they're trying to sell more of because inventory has been moving. They create kind of a focal point within the service room so that retail stays top of mind, whether you're waiting in the waiting room and you've got the full retail display, but also in that service room, like Julie mentioned, where ideally it's at eye level or easy for the client to see when they're on the bed.
Essentially what you're creating is an opportunity for your clients to think about an aftercare routine before you even mention it.
Yeah, love that. The next big tip is about kind of color and scents. One thing Bush Bomb is known for is this bright, eye-catching packaging and the variety of scents that we launch, whether hero SKUs or limited editions throughout the year. And there is method to the madness when it comes to displaying them all on a shelf. Our brains naturally like familiar patterns, and there's a lot of psychology that goes into visual merchandising.
Okay. Who has the time for Psychology 101?
Okay. It's one of my favorite topics, but I'll summarize just to make it easy for us. Displaying your Bush Bomb products according to the rainbow. Remember Roy G. Biv, Estes, going back to elementary school? That actually is such a familiar pattern to our brain that displaying them kind of in the rainbow pattern makes it really easy to draw clients' attention. You can do the same thing kind of with primary colors if you have a smaller collection, but ultimately these really common eye-catching color patterns are something that the brain recognizes and is naturally drawn towards.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask from everyone in the chat here today. If you are merchandising your shelf like a rainbow, drop a rainbow emoji in the chat. We're curious about who's doing that today. So today we're also going to be covering color patterns, merchandising and routines, and not downselling the minis on display next to the full sizes.
Yeah, so we covered a little bit about that, but the last trick on visibility would be the accessories. And I'm not talking about jewelry and handbags, although that'd be nice. Something even more exciting in my world, that is signage and displays.
Okay, yes. All right. So some of you might have even noticed that we've added a lot more Bush Bomb signage to our website. And so that's there for you to order this year. That's from tent cards. We've got new retail display. And these will all be to be used to decorate and create an intriguing display for your clients.
100%. Actually, Julie, if you could pass me the retail display. So this is one of our newest products that we feature on our website, which you can use for loyalty. You can add to your order, but ultimately it is a double featured box or sign. The goal is that you can use this to merchandise, but also to kind of accessorize your shelves and make it look fuller or more cohesive. But also very, very common are tent cards. These are also a great way that draw in the eye of the client while they're just maybe potentially sitting in the waiting room, waiting for their appointment time. It's going to naturally draw them in. There could be some education on here that makes your job a little bit easier, but ultimately that's going to fill out your display. So it's not just all product. It gives it a little bit more dimension as to what they're looking at.
Super cute, super vibey. And these tips are really just to help you maximize the visibility of your retail products in your space. So hopefully one or more of these have sparked some ideas for you this holiday season.
Yeah, the last one I'll kind of just mention, just because, there's Bush Bomb, but there's also very commonly Amazon out there. One thing we noticed a lot of our SDs use, shout out Sam from Sugar. She's one of our top SDs. We use a lot of her retail tips and tricks on our end. But one of the things she uses is like small acrylic risers or stands that she gets from Amazon. And it really creates a focal point and dimension within her displays. So she has like different heights that the oils sit on, which is super cute. But it also kind of takes something like a new addition that you've added to your shelf, albeit cozy cashmere, to kind of create like a little display with that riser. And maybe you've got a mug or a scarf, or like you're creating the vibe of what cozy cashmere is visually without a client kind of having to pick it up and smell it. So you can use a lot of those tips and tools, especially when you want to create a focal point for your products. And, especially if you have customers that have been Bush Bomb lovers for a really long time, this helps kind of spark newness and excitement, and it will definitely kind of have them going, OMG, what's that? When they walk into your studio, by creating something that's a little bit more exciting than just a package on a shelf.
Yeah, and I think also let's lean in a little bit into the holiday season. A little bow on the merchandising box. Yeah. You'll probably see it even on our shelf in the back here.
That's some presents.
So definitely lean into the seasonality to just optimize your shelves.
100%. And so I'll just kind of teeter back, do some housekeeping here. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're so excited to have you all here. We just wrapped up some tips and tricks on visual merchandising and how to maximize visibility of your retail. And before we kind of move on to our next retail strategy, just a reminder that everyone who's joining us here during our live annual stock up sale event can take advantage of our biggest sale of the year, which is 10% off site-wide, to stock their shelves for the holiday season. So when I talked about kind of cozy cashmere and creating a display, if you haven't got it, run, don't walk before it sells out. It's one of my personal favorite scents.
It's been a really good one, and it's so perfect for this time of year as well. So again, for anyone else who is just joining us during today's live, you have the opportunity to get a tote bag with your order today. All orders over $350 are going to be getting the very famous
apron.
Y'all have been asking, so we delivered. And if you order during today's live, you get a double chance
to win an iPad.
So again, she said it. Run, don't walk. Here's your chance to get all the goodies. The totes, the apron, potentially even the iPad too. So dig into it, gang.
100%. And you know what? Before we dive into the next hot topic, because it's one of my personal faves and something I'm incredibly passionate about, if you haven't already, grab yourself a glass of, hot cocoa, a mocktail, a cocktail, hey, whatever you need at this time of day. Dive in and let's get right into it. So if you've been a part of our pro community for a while, you've probably heard us mention how to simplify the client's decision-making process with our favorite motto.
Selling, it starts in the service room. So that's right. The best retail strategy that we could provide is going to give you is all around the importance of using and introducing Bush Bomb products in the service room.
100%. Sometimes I feel like I sound like a broken record, but it is truly such an important element. When pairing the use of products with some light education on why you're using the products or the product benefits to the client, they ultimately start to feel comfortable and their internal dialogue starts. So Julie and I are going to role play here for a second.
And think about it from the perspective of the client. Like I'm lying on the table, the classic butterfly. I'm listening to the standard post-care instructions. And my SD asks me the $1 million question.
Julie girl, what's your plan for aftercare?
I don't know.
See, as the SD, I would go, okay, is there anything you normally struggle with post-wax? I've got some great recommendations for things like irritation, ingrowns, dark spots. What are you getting after, girl?
Well, since you're asking, Erica, I would say ingrowns, bane of my existence, something I always struggle with. Yeah, ingrowns. Don't like them.
Well, there's actually some really great products that help with that. There's been so much evolution in the industry. Trust me, I've got some great ones. So I'm actually going to finish off your wax service here by using Bush Bomb's Ingrown Hair Oil. So this is when I would promptly show the client the back bar bottle that I'm using. And I would apply that product in the service room. And I'm going to chat a little bit about how this product has a natural blend of oils that helps to reduce redness, irritation, and works to prevent ingrowns.
And I would be like, okay, Erica, thank you. I'll take these to go.
I know. But honestly, most of the results the client is looking for happens in their routine at home. So it's really important to explain how the fact that you're using this oil in the service room is the exact same oil that they're going to be taking home in the retail size to be getting the results that they need. We always say it's an 80-20 rule. 80% of the results happen at home. 20% starts with what you do in the service room. So by educating the client to say this is that, ultimately helps kind of transition them a little bit.
Yeah. And as the client, I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm coming to a service to get, the hair removal. I'm coming for a waxing service, probably because I deal with ingrowns. I'm still getting ingrowns. So I want to have something to address these breakouts. And I might feel a little even self-conscious about them, but having these conversations with my Esty and I'm feeling more comfortable. I'm there in the room. She knows, she's the expert. She knows my skin. She knows these products. Maybe it's worth taking a look. And then that's where she would probably bring me up to her shelf. And then I'd probably think to myself, what cute packaging? And then keep looking from there.
100%. So if, for example, your retail shelf is in the service room and it's at eye level, when you're introducing that product in the service room, Julie's probably saying, oh, okay, yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna get up and look at that. Or if you're introducing it in the service room and your retail shelf's in kind of a more centralized location, ultimately it's going to start the conversation of being like, girl, I've got some great product recommendations. Let's take a look.
And I'd be like, oh my God, fantastic.
And then I'd bring you there and I'd say, hey, Julie, I noticed you really loved that nude ingrown oil I applied in the service room. I've actually got them in a variety of scented and unscented options. But I also have a spot treatment called Roller Rescue for those stubborn ones you kind of chatted about. So that all kind of can work into a routine. And I'm happy to chat you through what that routine looks like.
And then that's when the client will kind of, I think the story tells itself there.
100%. But it just goes to show you that, relating to the product that you're using in the service room, creating trust with the clients with the product that you're using, saying that, hey, this is the exact same product I'm sending you home with, creates credibility, but also a level of comfort to not feel so salesy.
And I think, what a lot of our SEs are probably thinking, okay, for new customers, that's a really great sort of approach. But what about someone who might already be a fan?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, returning customers who love Bush Bomb, it's really important to focus on creating interest or newness for them. And I actually have one of my favorite tricks that I learned from Sam. I'll shout her out again. So shout out Sam from Sugar Sugar. She uses the retail size of a scent for her back bar when looking to introduce something new to the client. So like a limited edition or maybe a scent a client hasn't tried before. She gives the clients the option to say, hey, what scent do you want to try today? So that way she can introduce the scent into the service room. And the best way that she does this is by taking advantage of her loyalty points, like in our Club Bear, where she can redeem for testers, or by when we launch limited editions, for example, stocking up on those bundles that give you some of the free ones, like our Cozy Cashmere that has the buy 10, get 2 free of scrub and oil. So buy 20, get 4 free. And that way she can use those products in the service room to introduce them to the client. So ultimately it's not coming out of her pocket. She's using the points and the bundles that she's, been presented as part of being a Bush Bomb Pro to introduce the scents or something new to her clients in the service room. So it's kind of a win-win.
It's cost effective. It's also elevating the client experience, creating something new for them, but also helping your retail sales at the end of the day. So it's kind of coming into all three of those sections. So they get to pick what they want in the appointment, try before they buy. Who wouldn't love that?
100%. It's kind of like picking your nail color at the nail salon. Like
exactly.
It gives them choice and it gives them freedom to explore products without having to kind of buy something they haven't tried before. So we absolutely love that. But ultimately, kind of creating awareness by educating and using the products in the service room helps to simplify a client's decision-making process. So your recommendations are usually where they will start. And to be honest, that's what they're seeking from you.
And funny enough, this is actually in our Waxing Consumer Report, where we found that 67% of our clients, they are looking for aftercare instructions. So you're helping them feel more confident as their service provider.
100%. I mean, it's like trust an expert, right? So ultimately, they're looking for solutions. They want your recommendations. And as the expert, being confident in your instructions and the products you recommend is so important. That's why starting the conversation in the service room keeps you in your element. So ultimately, you're educating, you're telling them the benefits. It's not feeling so salesy.
It's so true. Like the most common fear I hear from my conversations with our community, working with our SDs, is I'm not good at selling. So what we're always trying to advise here is to our SDs to shift that mindset. You're not selling, you're educating. And simply by telling your clients about the benefits of the products that you're using and reminding them that they're great products that are going to help address those dark spots, those pesky ingrowns, they're all there to help you in your client's decision-making process.
100%. I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer, right? So when you use the products in the service room, you're educating, clients are naturally going to say like, oh, yes, I need that. So they've already kind of said yes to themselves and their need before you even broach the subject of like, hey girl, what are we taking home today? You know? So when you leave the service room and start to show them kind of your beautifully displayed shelf, always lead with a recommendation. So if we go back to that role play, Julie, I would bring you to the shelf and I said, hey, Julie, we talked about ingrowns in the service room. I've got some great products. I highly recommend starting with my Scrub and Oil Duo. You're going to use the scrub 2 to 3 times a week in the shower, oil daily. This is really going to help kickstart your results. And when you come back into your next appointment, I'm going to check in and see how things are going.
Okay. I see what you did there. We got some products sold, but also a returning appointment booked in one.
100%. I would basically, if I was kind of scripting this, I recommended the new 2-step and I said to use it 2 to 3 times a week in the shower, the oil daily, like I mentioned. I would say like, and when you start loving your results, we can explore more fun scents at your next appointment. And then I would kind of ask you, hey, are we booking for 4 to 6 weeks? Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of killing 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm getting my retention with my clients. I'm getting them rebooked and I'm also getting them on a great aftercare routine that I'm going to check in and they're going to know that I'm going to check in next time they come in.
Okay. And then now let's talk through returning clients. Like what sort of questions are you going to ask? What will kind of be the difference for like a first-time client?
Yeah. So first-time client, kind of just what I walked through, but the returning customers, it really comes down to asking the right questions, specifically avoiding yes or no style questions and ultimately being confident. So clients are way more likely to buy from someone who is confident or displays confidence versus someone who is unsure. So if you're saying, well, you could maybe get this or maybe get that, using words like maybe or you could try or something like that versus saying like, no, girl, I highly recommend, just speaking with confidence ultimately is going to show the client that you believe in the products. Because at the end of the day, when you believe in them, they believe in them because they believe in you.
Okay, I'm with you. So are we would you say this kind of plays into like the FOMO of trying to creating, or maybe that's more with the new scents there, like just trying to get them in love with like new limited edition scents, put them on in the service room. But let's say that they're a little more hesitant. Let them know that you're going to be sold out soon. So that's another really great one for the limited edition is just create that FOMO for them, create that urgency. So especially with the Cozy Cashmere that we have, this one has been such a popular scent. So that's a great opportunity to practice this strategy this time of year as well.
Yeah. So some of the questions I'd probably ask if I was the SD in the service room, talking to a returning customer is, first of all, I'm probably going to praise their use of their aftercare because who doesn't love being praised? So, hey girl, I noticed you're getting great results. Oh my God, your ingrowns look amazing. Your dark spots have really lightened. Like, wow, this is awesome. Keep it up. And then I'm probably going to ask questions like, what are we needing to restock? Are you running low on your scrub? Do you need more toner pads? Are you looking for like a different option? Like, do you want something that's more maybe active to deal with the flare up you're talking about? Or like, hey girl, let's switch up your scent. Like you've been on watermelon sugar for a hot 6 months. What are we switching up going into the fall? So there's a few different ways, but obviously we love new scents. I mean, Bush Bomb does launch limited editions for a reason. It's because it's such a great new, fun, exciting way to introduce them to the clients, but there's a reason that they sell out. The strategy really around creating hype and a sense of urgency and exclusiveness, it totally works. I mean, we do it with you, our SDs, to get your orders in. So you might as well use the same approach with clients. FOMO is real.
Absolutely. Now, okay, here's the question, or at least I guess maybe the answer that a lot of our SDs are dreading when they ask these questions in the service room. We're educating, like, what do we do if the clients just no?
Okay, no's are going to happen. They'll always happen. If it's a new client, this would be a great time to kind of introduce the travel sizes. So I would say something along the lines of like, look, I totally get it. It can be a bit overwhelming at first. Would you like to try a small size of the oil to see how you like it? They're only $8. So for example, using the trial sizes as a secondary option. So don't lead with it, but it's a secondary option if you get the word no.
Yeah, sometimes I actually, with some of our SDs, what they'll do is they'll actually include a free one with a new customer as like a little welcome package, if you will. So once they've rebooked, they've tried the mini, and then they're more likely to repurchase on their next appointment.
Yeah, I really love this strategy. It's such a helpful trick. Once clients try our products, 9 times out of 10, they're hooked. I mean, Bush Bomb is really legit. we love good results, but they're also, not going to break the bank. So, usually products speak for themselves, but you may get a no.
Yeah. And like, here's the thing. No's are okay. That's okay too. Sometimes there's reasons that are outside of our control at the end of the day. So that's okay. Maybe they're just not ready. Simply acknowledge and guiding them to the aftercare instructions and maybe show about the results versus caring about the sale. Just lean into the education and let them know what their options are. It doesn't have to be a sale every time. So something like, no worries, girl. I just want to make sure that if you ever do need something for those ingrowns, I've got you. They're going to feel personally helped and supported. And so I can't say enough good things about them. And just, make sure that you exfoliate and hydrate at home and keep everything smooth as you can.
100%. Talking about your own personal experience with the products is always the best strategy, to be honest. People love hearing, hey, okay, my SC really believes in them. She's using them. She saw results for herself. Like, even if they're not ready to buy, just hearing that is going to boost their confidence. And so I really love that. But you can also frame it like, hey, girl, you know what? Totally get it. Consistency is what's going to help you see those results or have those dark spots lighten up, for example. Like, I used this routine for 6 weeks. And notice such a big difference. If you have stuff at home, use that up and we'll plan to get you restocked at the next appointment. So there's ways to overcome the no by still educating and setting yourself up for success. So when they come in for the next appointment, you've kind of preceded getting them into that routine that you tried the first time.
Absolutely. So even maybe after tonight's live, like play around with it, ask yourself these questions in the mirror, truly get comfortable with the conversation, the flow with your clients. That will be your biggest factor in transitioning a selling starts in the service motto to products flying off your shelf.
Yeah. I'll also just mention how important it is to leverage your client booking software or anywhere that you store kind of notes on your clients. So keep a record of the products that they're maybe interested in or what they have purchased, because this is such a great way to flip the script on the aftercare question you start with by saying something along the lines of like, hey, how are you liking that watermelon sugar duo you picked up the last time? They want to feel remembered. They want to feel, that you cared about them. So just leaving yourself notes and checking in on those before you start your service with your client will really go a long way.
This can open doors to recommendations for other products, like maybe the Roller Rescue, or if they want to try something more heavy duty, like the Radiant Reset. They're more commonly recognized as like the lazy exfoliator, if you will.
Yeah, I love Roller Rescue or Radiant Reset for our lazy exfoliators because me, guilty as charged, okay?
Okay, so when asking the right questions, using a trusted product as part of your services and educating your clients on the benefits that's really where it starts to create their own internal dialogue that makes it easier for them to say yes.
100%. And like we mentioned, pairing that with your confident product recommendations, this will help your clients not to get overwhelmed by a shelf full of products. So They feel like you care, it's personalized to them, and it creates more genuine connection rather than feeling sold to. So when you bring them up to a display like this, it's not like, whoa, where do I start? You're literally guiding that conversation by saying, hey, Julie, I really think we should start here. They're ultimately going to have more open ears and be more receptive to your recommendations.
So don't forget, you guys have the opportunity. So make sure to stock up on your back bar while they're 10% off. Practice that confident selling in the mirror. And don't forget, our in-house Estes retail master, Liz, is hosting a free webinar on November 18th, all about how sales start in the service room. So watch Liz at work with a live model demonstrating how to weave product education and aftercare recommendations naturally into the treatment flow without making it feel pushy or salesy.
Yeah, learn from the experts themselves. I mean, we're here to tell you all the tips and tricks, but signing up for Liz's webinar will get you kind of the real live, exactly how it's done experience. So that's super cool. Before we get lost, I want to make sure that everyone is dropping their order number in the chat so that we can see who's all getting your double entry into the iPad giveaway. Because like I mentioned, you get a single entry for joining, double entry for order placed during the live. So let's go. We're fired up here. And don't forget, like we mentioned, you got so many great things you can take advantage of. You got the 10% off. You got the free tote with every order. You got the apron with 350 orders and above. And then honestly, the iPad is just such a crazy giveaway. Like honestly, it's such a great tool for your business, whether you're keeping your schedule on there or you're planning for promotions or you're making your next Bush Bum order. It can be used in so many ways to kind of leverage your business. So
I gotta say though, I'm pretty hyped to see who gets to win this iPad. It is, as you've been mentioning, such a great tool. So can't wait to see who this is going to be next.
Yeah, that's right. And if you just joined us or joining us on other platforms, welcome, come on in. We're really excited to have you. We're going to go into our last topic here in a second, but just wanted to kind of make sure everyone got a chance to get their orders in so that we can do that giveaway we'll do it in about 8 minutes or so.
Okay.
So yeah, I am going to dive into our last hot topic, which we talked about at the beginning, which is the buying mindset of the holiday season. And girl, Julie and I both are a sucker for a promotion. So I'm really excited to kind of dive into this. Because what's a holiday without a cute little bundle or promotion?
I don't know them.
Yeah. We love a gift with purchase. We love pretty much anything that looks pretty or we feel is holiday themed. I mean, we're a sucker for them. So we're going to kind of tell you exactly how to go about that this holiday season. So, it's not just for ourselves. Okay. Maybe like a bit for ourselves, like when we go into our service providers and we're looking for ourselves, but we're also thinking about our girly pops this holiday season.
Nothing says like, girl, you're my best friend by getting her a gifting solution for those underarms that she wasn't feeling the most confident in all summer long.
100%. That's like the best gift you can give everyone. Boosting confidence, sign me up.
Exactly. So with the holidays fast approaching, clients are already getting into that gifting mindset. So whether they are looking for stuffing their own stockings or buying for a friend or getting maybe their man their own roller rescue so they stop using yours, tis the season for, making clients thinking that it's time to stock up.
100%. It's giving no gatekeeping. It's giving I care about you. It's giving the Secret Santa gift everyone is fighting for. And there's no better way to do it than, what's sure to get us every time.
A cute little gift set, if you will.
Or even a promo.
Or maybe even if you're feeling wild, you could get something for yourself.
Oh, we love gifting ourselves. Big fans. But honestly, what you probably don't realize is, and why we kind of do our annual stock up sale is so important. Yes, of course, you get some extra savings on your products, but really it's designed for you to pass along that savings to your customers. So you can do things like promotions for the holidays. So we pass savings on to you and you pass the savings on to your clients.
Right. So you give a little extra margins to play with for the holidays. So you can run promos or do a bundles or maybe even in the peak of buying season,
Yeah, 100%. So the reason why we do stock up sale and we do it kind of 2 to 3 weeks before Black Fridays. So you get that product in and you can run your own promo going into the busy holiday season. So we know everyone loves the sale. So let's kind of chat about what gifting or promo ideas that our SDs could maybe run for the holidays.
Yeah, I say let's start with the bundles, since those are often like the form of like a promotion, right?
100%. Bundles, promotions, they're kind of one and the same. The most common bundles we often see this time of year is really around routines. A routine bundle gets people every time. So like a scrub and oil promotion. But there's kind of a few different versions of how that could break down. So I'll kind of run through a couple that are quite popular. Number 1, get a free mini with any scrub and oil duo. What a great promo, right? This is a gift with purchase bundle that will have them excited about getting the mini size of the oil because they're, taking a beach vacation soon. So they're stocking up on their favorite. They're getting their scrub and oil, but ultimately they're getting a free travel size with it. So we love to see it. We love a gift, kind of a free gift with purchase. Who doesn't? So that's kind of an interesting way you can kind of price the bundle. So factor in giving a free mini away with your regular price, use that 10% that you saved on your scrub and oil, kind of all balances out right there.
Absolutely. Okay. And then I guess another common bundle that we see is around saving and the buying of multiple products. So this can usually be, what typically we'll see is like a percentage off, maybe like a buy 2 any Bush Bomb products and then get the third one 50% off. This bundle helps to move your inventory, and it gets your clients excited about saving on that product. And then it also kind of going into gift their, maybe their bestie a Christmas gift.
Yeah, their cousins, their bestie, their boyfriend, their boyfriend's friend, whoever they got to stock up for. There's so many great ways to kind of leverage that. The last bundle idea we'll kind of chat about is something that we see a lot of, which is combining service and product. Mm-hmm. So for example, a lot of promotions that we see that some of our top retailers will do, and even some of, our larger SDs will be like, hey, all Brazilian appointments in December come with a free take-home vaginal mask. Or, let's say something like this November, you can unlock 15% off all Bush Bomb products with booking an underarm wax or an eyebrow wax or whatever it may be. Bundling your service and some sort of promotion on retail products, one, gets your books booked, which we love to see, but also kind of, you're bringing that client in the door. You know that they're interested in both a service and a product. So we love to see the combination of the two.
And ultimately, these bundles are going to help create excitement with clients, help move inventory, build revenue, and it aligns with what customers are used to seeing this holiday season. So with so many big holidays in the next few months, there is a bit of a expectation in society that there will be an opportunity to save. So let's make sure that we're doing that within our studios as well. One question we often get is around discounting. So just to clarify what that means is when retailing Bush Bomb, products purchased through wholesale and Bush Bomb Pro, you are allowed to run a temporary promotion.
Exactly. So you can run a short-term promotion, so something that's temporary that lowers the MSRP or listed price of a product, like I said, temporarily. So you can say save 20% off Bush Bomb. But what's not permitted through our wholesale terms and conditions is permanently discounting products. So you can't always sell below the MSRP. That's against our terms of service. But something temporary that's time-bound, 100%, we encourage it. Why we do stock up sales. It's a way to stay competitive in such a busy time and season. And let's be honest, people are coming in kind of expecting a deal or expecting a promo. So that's a perfect thing, for this time of year. But because we're kind of going into our last 10 minutes of the live, I figured we'd kind of jump right over into some Q&A because I know there's some hot questions that came in. And I'll kind of switch over here. One of the questions that came in is really about small studio spaces or potentially at home studio spaces. And this is kind of a very common thing we see with a lot of our SDs. And it really is not about kind of a big shelf like this. So often people don't have spaces, but we see a lot of great strategies in really small shelves and really focal kind of points or niche product routines. So something like our basic starter kit that comes with, some of our best sellers, like, the 3-step ingrown routine that I talked about and the 3-step dark spot routine. This kind of keeps your inventory tight and precise and you don't have to carry all the scents in the world. But ultimately, once your clients are on a great routine, get their feedback as to what, they want you to see you bring in. And you may have to put products kind of in a cabinet or whatnot. But as long as they're out on display in some sort of fashion within your small studio and space, again, we'll go back to the first point we said, like if they can't visually see it, they don't know it's available for purchase. So just make sure that even if you're working with a small space, that you're setting up that space to work for you. So a small shelf, even floating shelves on your wall, we see that all the time. And even having one or two of each products that you do carry available, that'll ultimately keep drawing the customers in. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a big shelf like this, although we love to see it. It doesn't have to be a full rainbow, but it can be a partial rainbow that you set up in your small studio spaces.
Absolutely. Okay. Another one that we're getting here, the biggest client's concern is when they hear scent. Are these dermatologists and gynecologists approved? Are they safe?
100%. All of Bush Bomb products for retail are dermatology and gynecology approved. And scent is one of the last things listed on the ingredient list, which tells you that, it's not a main ingredient. So yes, although we do add a small amount of fragrance to our products, ultimately we're sourcing them from, the best fragrance houses out there, but no matter what, they are gynecology and dermatology approved and completely safe to use in the intimate area. That's what our brand stands for. We're the bikini line experts. We've got to make it safe to use down there.
I'd also make a small note on that one too, when it comes to optionality. So at the same time, some people might not want their skin to have scent. So you do have optionality, whether you go with like a nude oil instead, or what I always like to highlight is the Sweet Escape. Sweet Escape is scented with essential oils, a vanilla and tangerine essential oil, giving it that beautiful creamsicle-like scent. So if you have someone who really wants some scent, but wants maybe an alternative, that's a really great option too.
Yeah, it's scented without using the word fragrance, which is awesome. Like you said, essential oil. So it is that happy medium. I would say Bermuda, our dark spot oil, is also the same. It kind of got a naturally light lemony scent because the lemon peel oil. So again, not listed fragrance on the ingredient packaging, but it's still going to deliver kind of a more elevated experience than just the tea tree scent you would get in nude. But unscented to naturally scented to small amounts of fragrance, we've got kind of all the bases covered, but totally safe 100%. The next question we have is would we ever sell displays? 100% we're working on displays. I can see our CEO in the corner here and he's saying absolutely. But don't forget, we just added a bunch of them to the website. So we've got tent cards. These, are part of displays. Our new retail display box. This is exactly why we launched it. It's perfectly used for display. So you can put products on top of it. You can put products beside it. There's so many ways that you can use it. It is a form of display and works for smaller or larger spaces. But yeah, stay tuned to your loyalty program over the next months, years. We're definitely going to keep adding. One thing we'd love to do is put them on our loyalty program or make them available for purchase depending on the item so that we can continue to elevate your shelves because we know you guys love Bush Bomb, whether it's merch, displays. Honestly, I think I could put Bush Bomb on a pencil and you'd love it. So we hear you. It's great feedback. The team's listening and we'll continue to work on more options for you guys.
Okay. Do you have travel size products? Short answer, yes. We've got our 5 milliliter oils in nude, Bermuda, and Sweet Escape.
Yes.
So
we call those our minis. I think we got one right there.
Oh, we've got a couple.
And they come in 12 packs. So these are kind of what they look like. They're little minis. But these are our travel sizes. So absolutely, we've got them in our oils. And that's kind of what we have travel options of right now. Yeah. Okay. We are kind of running into the last couple minutes. And I do want to get to our giveaway winner because let's be honest, that's what you're all here for. Yes, the retail strategies are great, but who's winning the iPad, So maybe what I'll do is I'll ask maybe 2 more questions and we're going to get to the giveaway winner. So one question here is, do I buy from the live store? Or can I buy from the website? You can buy during the live or directly on the website, but it'll both technically be through the pros.bushbomb.com website. So that's exactly where you should place your order for wholesale, to get that 10% off, get your tote bag, get your apron over $350. Like I said, promo on promo on promo. And then the next question is any Christmas scents? If I didn't say it enough, Cozy Cashmere is our limited edition for holiday. It's a very warm, sophisticated, vanilla, clean scent. It's literally perfect for this holiday season. We love it. It's selling super fast. So once it's gone, it's gone. I'll use the FOMO strategy on you guys. Hopefully it's working. But absolutely, Cozy Cashmere, our holiday scent. It is our last limited edition scent for the year, so make sure you're stocking up because this one will ride us right into 2026. Okay.
Where are we at?
Someone asked, did you get an apron if we order during the live? Yeah, girl, you get an apron if your order's over $350, and it is the coveted apron. I think we spent months getting requests for these aprons, so happy we can finally deliver. And make sure you snap a pic in them. Post on Insta, tag us at Bush Bomb Pro, and our social media team loves to share the representation of our community. So we love that. Now we've got 5 minutes left, so I think without further ado, should we have a little drum roll? You guys want to know who wins the iPad? Okay, big moment here. The winner of the iPad giveaway is Miss Priscilla Romero from Colorado. Let's go. Priscilla, our team's going to be in contact with you over the next kind of 24 to 48 hours to get your gift sent to you. But we do appreciate everyone joining the live. We shared some really great tips, I think, today about how you can maximize visibility. We talked a lot about visual merchandising. Never forget Roy G. Biv. Never forget people can't buy what they don't see. So those are the top 2 tips from visual merchandising. We talked a little bit about how selling starts in service and making the decision process easy for the client. So making it really easy for them to say yes. So introducing back bar and explaining the benefits of it, linking to the retail. I mean, that really is a no-brainer. We talked about how Liz, our in-house SE, is actually doing that with you guys on our live webinar on November 18th. So you can learn it from firsthand experts, which we're really excited about. And then we kind of finished off with some bundling and promos. So we talked about a gift with purchase or get a free mini. We talked about, multiple products by buy 2, save, this % on the third or get this third one free. And then we also talked a little bit about how you can bundle services and products. So get a Brazilian in December and save 20% off Bush Bomb, and really kind of combine the two. So you get busy books, but also people get really excited about saving on Bush Bomb and gifting. So we kept you kind of in the gifting mindset. We want to keep your clients in the gifting mindset by doing those bundle and promos and having a really beautiful shelf as they come in, but ultimately making sure that in the service room, they know how they're going to get their results at home.
And I'd also say too, if leaving today's live, you're feeling a little extra inspired and want to top up your shelves even more, the sale will still be running throughout the weekend until Monday. So do you feel like you can top up a little bit more, take advantage of this big deal that we have going on? It's an incredible sale. So there's no reason to not. It's the best time to do it. Use these ideas, strategize, create some bundles, run some promos, and give back to your clients.
Yeah, one thing about stock up sale, which is a hidden secret, is it's one of only twice a year where we do no minimum. So if you ordered earlier in the week, you're starting to get your product in, you're like, oh, I've got this promo I'm planning. My SEs are my clients are going to love it. SE's going to be excited about it. You can place another order before the sale ends and only get kind of the products you're looking to stock up with that no minimum. So make sure you're taking full advantage. I know a lot of our SEs love kind of the pre-sale strategy. So you could pre-sell your bundles on social media and use the social media assets to create awareness. So ultimately, if you're running a promo or a bundle promotion this holiday season, use our social media assets. If you go to our website under education and resources, you're going to see something called marketing materials. If you click under that, you've got photography, you've got social media assets, you've got signage, you've got posters. It's all listed there. And within that, we've actually given you holiday themed and sale themed, Instagram posts or things that you can leverage and print off in your service room so that people are aware, because ultimately you got to tell them about a promo. You got to tell them about a new scent. You do have to make people aware. And so we've kind of done it a little bit for you and started that, journey off on a high by giving these assets. So make sure you check out our social media assets and all of our educational resources on our website to help you promote your bundles and your goodies and your Bush Bomb collection this holiday season.
Yeah. I think we're almost at time. Is it almost there?
We're almost there. We've got a minute left. So
okay.
I think, first of all, from Julie and I, thank you so much to everyone who joined. We really hope there was some helpful tips and tricks in here, something you're going to take away. Hopefully you've got to connect with a little bit of your SE community in the chat, learn from one another, stay in contact. Clearly, I'm running out of time. And make sure that you're kind of sharing what promos and bundles you're running. Tag us when you get your apron on social media. We'd love to see it. And ultimately, live from Bush Bomb HQ, that does it for Julie and I. So thank you so much for joining, Bush Babes. We hope you have a great and successful holiday season.
Bye, guys.